Welcome back to Permission to Play. I'm Amy Herzog, the founder of Spark Joy with Amy. And today on Permission to Play, we are going to be talking about navigating big feelings. At Permission to Play, we are here to spark a movement to bring play to the forefront of everyday lives for kids. Today, I'm going to be joined by the founder of My Moody Monster. I just love this, and you guys are going to love it so much too, Jennifer Ginty. And let me bring her on. But I know that I'm a big feeling person. My son was a big feeling person, and I wish to God that I had. Hi, Jen.
Right, yeah.
So good. I was just saying, I wish that I'd had my Moody Monster when my son was growing up, and I bet you wish you had it sooner too.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Jennifer created this really out of her own need, right, for dealing with some big emotions through PTSD. And so this is something you navigated and created for yourself. How did you realize that it could also help children and families processing their big emotions? Tell us about the creation of My Moody Monster.
Yeah. So, I was in a group therapy session, and I was really, really frustrated with my symptoms, my PTSD symptoms, and I said, I wish I had a monster that I could just rip apart and throw across the room and bang against the furniture. And people were like, "Yeah, you should have that." So I went home. I'm not a seamstress or anything like that, but I put together this like ragtag monster, and I made their arms and legs and head of Velcro. So I named them PTSD Pete for me.
Awesome. Yes.
So I used Pete a lot, actually. It was
Yeah.
really cool. I started to just, whenever I started getting those feelings of hypervigilance, those type of things that come along with PTSD, I would use Pete. And I realized if it could help me, it could also help other people who have these big emotions that are hard to cope with.
Yeah.
And, especially for kids, because, I called my kids when they were little cavemen, because they were born with all these emotions and all these feelings, but they didn't know what to do with them,
Yeah.
right? So, I thought, if I can give this to like a child and see what they think about taking Moody apart, well, Pete at that time, that maybe that could help with communication with
Yeah.
parents and kids.
Yeah. Wow. And where did you try it out first? Did you have like friends or family try this out, or how did you figure that
Yeah,
out?
I ended up getting into a accelerator program for entrepreneurs.
Ah,
So it was a nonprofit. It happened right at COVID. So it was the perfect time to do this accelerator program. And I had mentors and I had a cohort that I worked with and started doing testing and looking to get prototypes together. So I needed to do the prototypes before I could do the testing. So
yeah.
it started off as that. And then I put a call out when I had my prototype ready and to see who would be interested in testing. And I got 50 dolls from the manufacturer, and I put them out into the world. I gave them to families and teachers and counselors and therapists to see what they thought about Pete, or I'm sorry, Moody,
Yeah.
what they could, yeah, what they could do with Moody. And parents were telling me how great it was for kids to be able to signal that they have these big frustrations going on
Mm,
without having to use their words for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Just grab this and they're like, okay, tell me what you need. Yeah. That's
be,
amazing.
because Moody is safe.
Yeah.
I created a coloring book that also talks about that too. So it doesn't hurt Moody to rip them apart. That's what they're there for.
Mm.
So it signals to kids that it's okay. Moody's a safe space to put your emotions into.
Oh, So important. I remember we were navigating big feelings with my son when he was young, and we went to therapy, and the therapist was saying like, go punch a pillow and scream. And it's like these feelings exist, and when we hold them in ourselves, we like want to explode, right? So when we can have a safe place to let it out, and I love that this doll, like, you can literally like rip it
Yeah.
apart, and it's so not like our society isn't really good at handling big feelings, right? And it's like not okay to be angry or to be, I don't know, super sad
Right.
or anxious or whatever, and yet we are. And so this gives like that channel for that. That's amazing. Okay, so show us. I walked over you there, but
Yeah, no, no,
show
no.
us how does he work? How do they work with Moody?
Sure. So I spent a lot of time on the prototype getting the stickiest Velcro I could possibly get, because the thing that you need to be able to do when you have this pent up energy is to really have to work at it, right? So pulling the head off, and the sound is just so satisfying. So you can pull their head off, you can pull the arms and legs off, and I thought that was the important part of Moody. But in the end, I realized that it's putting Moody back together again that's the important part.
Whoa.
Because it gives you a chance to communicate with your child. What happened? What can we do next time so that you're not so frustrated?
Oh my gosh. So Moody is helping us get out this energy that we have and really like physically be able to express it by pulling. And then once we've kind of let that out, then we can regulate more and then talk through it as we put it back together
Yeah.
again. Oh my gosh. I love that. Did you foresee that coming, that like it wasn't just the destructive, but it was the reconstruction? Did you foresee that?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
really. It was a surprise to me because I was so focused on let's get the emotions out,
Yeah.
not the why did we have the emotions. And when I had that aha moment, it was so clear to me that that was the important part of them.
Where did you, can you share more about that aha moment for us? Was it for you personally, or did you see it in another example of someone else's experience?
Yeah, I felt it in my own when I was working with it. But yeah, hearing it from parents was really the most important part for me, was that they were able to communicate with their kid by, the kid got all of that out. Just get out the feelings, talk about it, yell, whatever you need to do. And then, we can sit down afterwards. We can put Moody back together and let's see what happened. Like, what can we do that can help you to, like, build a coping toolbox is what I always say, is how do we have our kids build this toolbox?
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for this. Thank you so much. My son, we lost his dad when he was 12, and he got to go to a camp for kids grieving the loss of their parent or caretaker, and they gave them that kind of thing. They gave them the language, they gave them all these different tools, and it is so important to, yeah, like have come alongside them and share with them like how to navigate. These are big feelings, and this is really hard to deal with. And even as adults, I mean, you built this for yourself
Hmm.
just a few years ago, like 5 years ago,
Yeah,
right? Because we don't know how to experience it too. What I'm loving, can you hold up
sure.
Moody again? Like, just, oh my
There
gosh,
they
he
are.
is so cute. Like, I can imagine that kids are just gonna like love their little Moody doll, right? So even though
Yeah.
they like pull him apart, rip it apart, but then they love him, right? And like, oh, our little Moody, like, okay, let's put him back together again. And then you have this language and this repair time to put words to it, like, gosh, when ripped his head off, what were you thinking? Or how are you, whatever, just processing. Do you give some guides? Does your coloring book give some guides to parents about like, what do you say and how do you put it back together
I
again?
don't, but I am working on, like a little like transcript type
Love,
thing to, like,
love
how in
it.
the back of some of books they have the, tips for
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
type thing when it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So I am working on building a guide for that because you're right. It's really important that we also give the parents a toolbox as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It is, it's hard to know what to say. It's hard to know what not to say. And there isn't just a script, there isn't a perfect guide, but it is helpful to have, research and find what's effective and powerful and some suggestions. It doesn't have to be like read say this, say that, but like here's some ideas. So yeah, I really love that. That metaphor, like that taking apart and that restoration is so, so good. Um, so it's not just about the feelings, right? It's also about these coping mechanisms and coping strategies to help them really manage their feelings in real life. Can you share us a story of a family that you've seen? Like, what are the testimonies coming in?
Yeah. So a lot of parents say that Moody is a great transition uh, for kids coming from school or coming from, like going to the doctors, that kind of thing, that
Hmm.
they are using Moody to it just kind of talk to and talk through
Yeah.
what's happening, especially to going to doctor's appointments, that kind of thing.
Mm.
And for autistic children, they really love the texture. They love the, ability to rip them apart. And kids that are nonverbal, they're using them to signal to their parents that they need some help.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Last week I was talking to um, another guest, and my name is not, I know her book, Watching Sarah Rise. Jenny. Anyway, sorry, names are really hard in my brain. But she was saying that her daughter was nonverbal. And when she was 4 years old, she started to get her support and she started to work on one word at a time. And what a tool to have this representation and to give them something to just touch and grab and show, like, I'm needing my moody monster, like, oh, okay, what's going on? Let me tap in with that and talk through them. I remember when I was in college, I did a internship up in San Francisco, and I was in a play therapy at a hospital. And so we would go in and we would have dolls and different. It was so amazing. They had like tiny versions of hospital beds and things like that. We would talk through the kids about what their procedure was going to be, and give them an idea of like what they're going to experience, and talk through the emotions and talk through what to expect. And I love like this idea of having Moody, show him like, oh, he's going to get a little prick here and we'll put a band-aid over it or whatever. And you can just talk through the doctor's appointments with that. And he might need a little TLC. So we're going to hug him after. And I mean, that's amazing. What a great, great idea and tool to put in kids' hands, in parents' hands, in those who are nonverbal or who have a difficult time. Even a lot of times kids just don't know how to, like you said, have the language for what emotions they're feeling. I mean, sometimes I don't either.
Right, yeah. I know a lot of adults who use Moody as well,
Yeah.
because there's just those times where we're overwhelmed when our emotions are too intense and we need some distress tolerance,
Yeah.
right? We need to get it out. So we need to focus on something different while our intensity like lowers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my goodness. What a doll. Tell us a little bit about the fabric. I was watching your
Mm.
Instagram a little bit, and I'm really impressed with what you chose. So help us see that a little close up.
Yeah, sure. So they're very, very soft. So all of their body parts are pretty soft and squishy. So you can squish them. Good for hugging.
Nice.
And the texture around the eyes, where they've stitched it and stuff is really cool. But yeah, again, it's really that ripping
Yeah.
that is the
Oh
favorite. Oh,
my gosh. I can just
yeah.
like, ah, yeah. I
Yep,
can get into that. I think I need one every day when I read the news. Like, oh, I'm gonna tear a limb off.
exactly. Yep,
Who else is
yep.
going right away to get a moody, my moody monster? I'm telling you, this is really nice timing. I think we're all experiencing some big
Oh
emotions,
yeah.
not just our kids, but ourselves, and really needing those positive avenues to express it and experience that and have avenues for discussion. The tearing apart and the repair. I love it so much. Gosh, yeah, and we covered like this is great for kids who are nonverbal, and I'm trying to think of what else. Is there anything else that you and I had talked about that I'm missing that you want to chat about?
Well, Moody and I do story time. And yeah, we picked books that are about big emotions. You know, sometimes it's about anger. Sometimes it's about all the emotions that we feel. Sometimes it's about sadness. Just books that can help children to walk through. You know, they
Mm,
feel the same way that the character's feeling. And this is what the character learns how to do. This is a coping
yeah.
skill that they've learned how to do.
And
And
is that on YouTube?
it is. Yeah, it's on my channel. It's My Moody Monster. And along with that, I do Moody Talks. So they're more towards
Okay.
adults, but they definitely have a lot of great skills. I myself use DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy,
Okay.
and that's all about emotions.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of different coping skills through that. And while I was working on Moody's prototypes and all that, I needed something to do.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing these Moody Talks where I'd pick an emotion each month. And then the first week we talk about the words that we use for it, you know, building our vocabulary around an emotion and the intensity of each word, because that can tell us, that signals to us that we have a high intensity happening just by the thought of an emotional name, like
Yeah.
word that we
Yeah.
use. And
Mm-hmm.
then the way it feels in our body and the things that we might automatically do because of like actions that we take without even really thinking based
Yeah.
on that emotion. And
Yeah.
then the next 3 weeks, we work on coping skills. And, you know, Moody has really been a love letter to my own healing in that sense because I'm
Mm-hmm.
teaching people these valuable coping skills that I've learned myself.
Yeah.
And it also keeps me in touch with my coping skills as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you for not only healing yourself, but turning that outward to help heal in our world. I appreciate your heart and service so much with that. Um, I love that you have an avenue for adults because people listening to this are adults and we do need these coping skills. And you have these stories for kids. That's so beautiful. One that comes to mind for me is when Sophie gets angry, really, really angry. Do you have that
That's
one?
all on there.
Yeah. What
Sophie's on our Moody story time.
what are some of your other as parents are listening, what other books would you recommend they check out that you're sharing? I mean, obviously they can come watch you, which is so great, but they might want to get their hands on some too.
Yes, the color monster. I
Mm,
love the color monster.
okay.
Have you filled a bucket? I don't know if
Mm.
you've ever heard that
Yeah,
one. That
yeah,
one's
the
really
butterflies.
cool.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, I have a ton of them. There's a great series called A Little Spot of Emotion
Mhm.
series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Aren't those great?
yeah.
Yeah. And they
I
come with little dolls. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the little dolls and everything.
Yeah.
Those are great. And then the Ninja Hack series are great
Ooh,
too.
I don't know that
That,
one. Tell me
yeah,
more about that. Is that
yeah.
a
So
chapter
it's,
book or?
yeah, it's, let me grab it real
Yeah,
quick.
I'd love that. So she is grabbing some books that she does as book talks for kids. I love it. What does she call it? My Moody Talks? No, the talks
Moody
with Moody.
Story Time.
Moody Story Time.
I
There we
got
go.
all the
Moody
books.
Story Time. Yay, yay, yay.
So, yeah, so there's a little spot collection.
Yes, great. And I think Costco even carries
Oh,
that
does it?
label.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, so the Ninja Life Hacks books, she has a lot of these books.
Okay.
This specific emotions and feelings book has Angry Ninja, Positive Ninja, Earth Ninja, Helpful Ninja, Kind, Lazy, Grumpy.
I love
And
it.
they all have like little coping skills in
Oh my
there.
gosh. Can you pull one out? Can we see a
Sure.
little snippet? I don't know what's
Absolutely.
allowed here, but let's just ask forgiveness later.
Here's Grumpy Ninja. Grumpy Ninja.
Oh, grumpy ninja. It's like the Smurfs.
So yeah, all the other ninjas play together. They and they teach each other great stuff. You know, it's really cute.
Yeah,
And the
that's
name
a
of
big.
the author is Mary Nin.
Oh, right. You know, you were talking about the different emotions and big ones, but I had an app that was really helpful that I was kind of charting my own emotions throughout the month. And you could just go in and you could have like the kind of like calmer positive and then big energy positive, and you could have like lower energy negative and higher energy negative, and it was really helpful to really like, okay, find where you are in this
That sounds
quadrant of,
so
you
cool.
know, yeah, I need to remember what that app was. I haven't done it for a while, but I think it was during COVID that I was meeting, so
We all needed that in COVID, right?
right. So good. Oh, thank you for sharing those books. That is really helpful. Moody is adorable. The pictures you sent me, I was just like, oh my gosh, you have the cutest pictures of him. If people haven't seen, go to my stories. I'll repost those. They're so great. And where do we buy My Moody Monster? Because we need this today.
Yeah, yeah. So you can buy it through the the I'm sorry, what are we, Instagram.
Instagram.
You
Yeah,
can buy
that
it on
one.
Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
So you can do it through the shops there.
Okay.
Also, my website is
Okay.
mymoodymonster.com. You can get them there. And there's actually 3 different sets. There's an individual set,
Oh.
and that comes with the coloring book,
Oh,
Meet
so
Moody,
cute.
and it comes with a mode of
Oh
transportation for Moody.
my
So
gosh, you thought of it all.
if you don't want to put Moody back together again, that's okay. We'll just put him in the bag, and he's ready to
Oh
go.
my gosh, that is brilliant. What a
Yeah.
sweet, sweet gift to include with him. Ah, or
And
them.
then
Oh my
the
goodness.
other sets are for a classroom and for an office, and that's just depending on the amount of coloring books I send.
Oh, wow.
And
So
there's
great.
one last is the donation, so you can
Mhm.
donate a Moody. So
Oh,
part of my social mission is to get Moody's to first responders, social workers, and medical treatment centers to help kids that are in trauma. You know,
yes.
foster kids who go into foster care, they get a trash bag.
Hmm.
I'd like to be able to give them a buddy to get
Hmm.
through this
Yeah.
together.
100%. Oh my gosh. I have someone that came up right to mind. She works with foster families in my community, and I'm gonna make sure she gets a hold of this as well. That will be fantastic. So
Yes.
myMoodyMonster.com is your website. We can go to My Moody Monster on Instagram and Facebook and find your shop in your bio.
Hmm.
I think everyone needs one of these. I can't wait to snuggle mine. Oh, and you guys, Jenny has been so generous to offer a discount. Tell us about our discount.
So the discount, it's called Pod 15. You use that coupon code, and it gets you 15% off the entire shop. I also have on there, I have a feelings notebook that you can get. There's more coloring books, or you can even download the coloring book digitally.
Oh, rad. Oh, this is so much goodness. Thank you, Pod 15 for
Yes.
15% off on anything in your store.
Yes.
So generous.
Anything and everything.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Of
you.
course.
This is so delightful to learn about My Moody Monster, to chat with you. Thank you for the healing work that you do, because it ripples out into our world. And I think that's what we need more of. Before I send you off, though, I
Yes.
always play a little game. So let's play
Mhm.
this with Moody Monster.
Sure.
So we're going to play with Moody Monster. And the game I always play is this little Wheel of Fortune. We're going to
Okay.
have some random household items that we're going to play with Moody Monster.
Sounds good.
Let me see. Where's my little, I don't know where my pencil is, but oh, here's a pencil. Okay. So I'm going to just high tech spin this paper clip around and let's see what we've
Yay.
got.
Woo.
All right, Moody. We have coins, a laundry basket, and a set of keys. What are we going to do with my Moody Monster? Coins, a laundry basket, and a set of keys. Hmm.
What,
I
what,
know.
what, what,
Yeah.
what are we going to do with
We
them?
get to play with Moody Monster with coins, a laundry basket, and a set of keys.
Well, the
Ooh.
laundry basket is obviously a spaceship.
Oh, I forgot. We're going to climb into our rocket ship. Yes,
Yes,
I love
yes.
it.
So
We
there's
got to turn
that.
the keys.
Do we
We got to
have the
turn on
keys
the
will
keys.
turn on the
Yeah.
spaceship?
Yes,
And the
yes.
paper clip,
No, the
the
paper clips got
colorful,
us here, but we have
oh,
coins.
coins, I'm sorry, coins.
Mhm.
Coins, well, I mean, you have to pay the toll to get on the moon.
Yes, absolutely. And when we get up there, we can unlock all of our emotions, leave them on the moon, and fly back home, all put back together in one piece.
Perfect.
Sound
That
good?
sounds
Let's
amazing.
take our emotions on the out to outer space, and we'll come back feeling whole and restored. Yeah?
Yay! That's perfect.
I love it. I love it. I love your mind. Thank you. Moody, thank you for coming and joining us and bringing just such a great joy to us all. For those of you watching, thank you again for coming. You have permission to play. You have permission to play with your emotions.
Mhm.
You have permission to play with your child and help them navigate their big feelings. Using My Moody Monster can only help.
Right.
All right, all enjoy and go out and enjoy the power of play. Mwah. Bye, y'all. Thank you.